Let me make this crystal clear. We support harm reduction. It saves lives. However, we understand there have been an impact on our immediate community, and that is a priority. We will continue to work with our partners to deal with the offenders who are preying on our most vulnerable population. Today, we released an analytical report on crime and social disorder near the downtown Supervised consumption facility. The data parallels the concerns voiced by the community in and around the SCS. We have not waited for this report to respond. We have remained connected to the community every step of the way and have been addressing these crime trends since August of 2018. Since last summer, we increased our visible policing presence in the SCS area with patrols, beats, bikes, and covert resources. In December, we began the Daylight Initiative to address the trafficking of meth and other drugs in and around the area. The first phase led to the arrest of 32 individuals charged with over 172 offenses. We are also bolstering our offender management by targeting our most prolific offenders in that area. In November, the mobile community outreach police station hit the streets downtown. This was done to enhance our presence, and since then the mobile station has been set up in Stephen Avenue and Olympic Plaza to address the community concerns in those areas. The SCS in Calgary was created to address an opioid community health crisis. We know it saves lives. However, drug trends have shifted and are unpredictable. And the most commonly consumed drug at the SCS is meth. As a result, there have been unintended consequences to the community safety in that area. The behavior of some of these individuals who consume meth is unpredictable. We are committed to keeping our community safe today and into the future, while at the same time working with our partners on a long-term mental health and addiction strategy. I'll take any of your questions.
In terms of some of the numbers you're seeing, I mean, depending on who you ask, it sounds like the ball's kind of fallen into the Calgary Police Court. I asked the mayor and the councillor earlier today, would they be opposed to any additional supports for Calgary Police Service? Is that something you're potentially looking at? Maybe added programs? I know Winnipeg doubled its Crime Stoppers funding earlier today to address the meth concern.
I'm always going to look at anything that is going to support us and our partners to work on the community safety issue down in that area. But one of the things that we have to also make sure that we're crystal clear about is that we are a very small part of the solution when it comes to the crisis that we see ourselves faced right now. We need to be looking at our mental health and addiction treatments and work down that road, and then continue to support what we are doing as a police service.
Is there any explanation to the increase that started around March of last year and steadily continued to go up to the end of the year?
Unfortunately, when you have a population like this in an area, in a concentrated area, and you're dealing with the homelessness, the addiction piece of this, and then you concentrate it into one area, unfortunately, the criminal element comes with that. And those people, as I mentioned before, are part of the problem when it comes to the criminal side of it, because they are going after this vulnerable population and hoping that they will buy drugs or they will pick up stolen property along that lines. And so those are the issues we started to see.
So does the social disorder also come with it as well?
Absolutely, that's part of the social disorder.
As far as sort of strategies tackling this, the province has committed $200,000 to the creation of a new dope team in partnership with Alpha House, specifically for this area. Can you speak a little bit about how that might assist things in the area that are, arresting a way out of a problem, so to speak?
Well, we've always talked about not being able to arrest our way out of that problem, and so being able to support these people when they're at their lowest point is absolutely key to being able to solve this issue. If I don't have police officers dealing with these people and we have somebody else who can deal with them in a treatment way or in that type of fashion, is what we need to do.
I know from previous commissions that you guys have done a lot to kind of keep the budget in tight line and such. What's this new added meth crisis done to resources? You spoke a bit about it on Parliament Hill.
Well, it's one of those pieces that nobody could predict that this was going to happen in the last few years. And when it comes to policing resources, we always will adapt to what is taking place. But what it does mean that some of our lower end calls, it's going to take us longer to get there. We will work with that, and we will look at innovative ways to hopefully solve those problems. But that is what the public is going to see.
And how about as far as any sort of immediate reaction? I mean, I know there's been some ongoing work down in that area, but as far as sort of a direct response, is there anything community members or businesses might see looking different in the wake of this report in the next little while?
I've always committed to making sure that I've got officers down there, like I mentioned before, on beats and bikes. And when I look at my community mobile station, I see us being able to bring that down into the area, but realizing that it's a very tight area, and it's not a small unit. But I do see us being able to bring that and or our mobile command bus down there to have more of a presence. But one of the fears I have of that is that I don't want to scare away the people who need the support and who are part of that population. I want to deal with the people who are victimizing them, but I want the people who need those resources to still feel safe to come down there.
What can you tell us about the problem in general? Because I mean, if Winnipeg has a meth crisis, Vancouver's always had a drug problem. I imagine this is pretty systemic across the West. I mean, yeah, the report deals with the Beltline, but are you seeing this in other parts, District 4, District 5, other parts of the city?
We've seen a migration over the years of homelessness and mental health and addictions, and they've moved and crept outside of the downtown core. Each one of my districts are dealing with this. We're dealing with these situations, and there's no black and white answer on why. But the understanding is that each of my districts and all of my officers are dealing with it.
With the community liaison committee that's been set up between AHS, CPS, residents, City of Calgary, whatnot, have there been any solutions discussed within that committee that may soon come to fruition and may that you think would be helpful in addressing this problem in that neighborhood?
I have people on that board, and I think that the resources and the way we are dealing with it right now are some of the solutions that have come out of that program. I don't have black and white answers as to this took place and this is what we're going to change. But I do know that the presence and working with the community and being able to get their guidance on what they're seeing, because we're not down there all the time. We are arresting people and leaving the area and coming back. So being able to work with those community partners is critical.
What's this done? I know this may be an association question, but what's this done to the front lines, the members that are working down in District 1? Are you swapping people in and out? Has this been difficult?
It's been very hard. It's actually very hard on all of the officers. It's probably one of the saddest pieces of police work that these officers and the other emergency service personnel are dealing with. This isn't a community that came into that area because they wanted to. A lot of these people, as we talked about, have mental health and addiction issues. Many of my officers are dealing with them every single day. They know them by their first name, and they want to help them. But a lot of times the help isn't immediately there. And so it has a very, very damning effect on all of them because they're human like anybody else. And as we've talked in the past, we also have some of these people who have these issues within their own families. And so it's a community issue and it's a community problem that we're going to have to continue dealing with.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.